Today, Gigabyte GPUs are cracking. Nvidia's next GPU is coming sooner than we thought, AMD is releasing a new gaming CPU, and RTX 5000 cards are getting something huge. Welcome everyone to GamerMeld. First up for today, it looks like Gigabyte GPUs may have a pretty major flaw. In a new video by the repair technician and YouTuber Louis Rossmann, he goes over allegations that a large amount of RTX 30 and potentially even 40 cards by Gigabyte are cracking. More specifically, the PCB is cracking at the PCI Express locking tab. The issue is that this area has a ton of important signals passing through it, so when it happens, the GPU simply stops working. Now, this may not seem like much of a surprise given how big GPUs have gotten lately, but what's weird is the fact that these are almost exclusively cards from Gigabyte. Well, a user on Twitter looks to have given a decent theory as to why. As you can see, Gigabyte's cards clearly have a higher cutout right next to the locking tab, so it forms a really narrow pivot point. Basically, there's too much pressure being applied to a weak area of the card. What's worse is that Gigabyte refuses to RMA the card, even though it seems pretty clear that their poor design is the cause. Of course, further testing may be necessary to say that 100%, but it doesn't look good for Gigabyte. Many of these cards are being sold on eBay as broken to try and recoup a bit of their money. I'll also mention that a wiki was made that claims you may be able to fix the signals and ultimately repair the card, but it's not a guarantee and it requires a ton of time and quite a few tools. Ultimately, if you own a Gigabyte 30 or 40 series card, I'd suggest to be extra careful when installing it. And if you're someone who has had this happen to them, email me at admin@gamermeld.com. I'm going to try and document these to potentially push Gigabyte to fix them. And to Gigabyte, all I can say is do the right thing. Next up for today, it looks like Nvidia's next GPU is set for release even sooner than what Nvidia said. But before I get to that, I've got to tell you one of my favorite ways to learn more about computers, and that's by actually doing it with computer science courses from today's sponsor, Brilliant, the online learning platform that teaches you with more than just memorizing whatever they say and saying it back. That's just boring, and you don't actually learn. With Brilliant, you get in there and do it yourself, like this lesson that helps you learn to think in code by using specific steps to get a car to its destination. It's so intuitive that pretty much anyone can learn some really complex subjects. And with tons of courses from computer science to critical thinking, math, and science, there's definitely something interesting for everyone. And now's the best time to sign up because when you visit brilliant.org/gamermeld, you can try it out for 30 days free. Plus, when you sign up using brilliant.org/gamermeld, you'll get 20% off the annual premium. Once again, that's brilliant.org/gamermeld. Now back to the story, remember that Nvidia originally announced that the 4060 non-Ti was set to come in July for $299. Well, according to a new report from Video Cards, we can expect it even sooner, possibly as a way to better challenge AMD's RX 7600. The new report shows a leaked document that Video Cards confirms is real, and in it, we can see that the review embargo date for the MSRP models is set for 6/28, while the non-MSRP models will be reviewed on the 29th, along with the actual release. So Nvidia is once again set to only allow reviews on MSRP models before the release. This is annoying because consumers likely won't have a chance to watch the review since they're scared the card will sell out before they can pay for it. Luckily, the 4060 Ti seem to be available throughout the release, so I definitely suggest making sure you watch reviews before making your purchase. Either way, if this is right, the card is set to release a little sooner than what Nvidia said. And next up, it looks like AMD may be releasing a very interesting new gaming CPU. The story originally comes from an image shared by a well-known leaker on Twitter, and as you can see, it's a spreadsheet of an inventory screen or something along those lines. Regardless, it lists a Ryzen 5 5600 X3D. I have to say this one caught me off guard. If it's right, it would mean AMD could be planning to release not only a new AM4 CPU, but one with 3D V-cache. The alleged chip is a 6-core 12-thread part with 3 MB of L2 cache, which is 1 MB less than the 5800 X3D, and 96 MB of L3 cache, which is actually the same as the 5800 X3D. It comes with a base clock of 3.3 GHz and a boost of 4.4, so a 100 MHz drop from the 5800 X3D. X3D. Now, while I say that I was initially surprised, the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. While AMD's AM4 socket is essentially dead, having been replaced by AM5, the new 600 series motherboards are absurdly expensive. I'm honestly still shocked at how much more they are than the 500 series. It really is wild. So with that, AM4 board owners are likely hesitant to upgrade, which means AMD has a lot of potential customers on their older platform, and they already have a fairly expensive CPU that's still impressively good at gaming, the 5800 X3D, but it's still pretty expensive. This could be a great option for budget builders and those looking to upgrade their CPU. Of course, I definitely suggest waiting to see. This is squarely in the rumor camp for now, but it'll be interesting to see how much performance AMD can get out of their 6-core CPU with 3D V-Cache. And lastly for today, I have great news regarding Nvidia's next-gen GPUs, specifically their RTX 5000 Blackwell-based cards. And if you love being the first to know about all the important PC hardware news, make sure you're subscribed to GamerMeld. This story comes from a new video by Red Gaming Tech, where he claims to have not only gotten information regarding the release date for Nvidia's 50 cards, but something huge when it comes to specs. More specifically, he's heard that Nvidia is planning to up the VRAM capacity of their next-gen cards. Of course, as I've covered extensively already, like in my RX 7600 video, games have been requiring more and more VRAM lately. Some would say that's due to poor optimization, but whatever it is, it's happening all over. And because of that, cards like the 8GB 4060 Ti are being bashed pretty extensively. I mean, it's simply not enough for a card that fast. So because of that, Nvidia is apparently looking at upping capacity for next gen. So much so that the company could use it as a selling point against previous generations of GPUs. Of course, this is very early right now, so things can change later on, but that's at least what he's hearing. Not only that, but he was told to expect their next gen cards in late Q3 to early Q4 of next year. That isn't much of a surprise given previous releases, but it's always nice to hear. So while that does it for today, do you think we need way more VRAM? Let me know down in the comments below. And don't forget to try out Brilliant at brilliant.org/gamermeld. And as always, have a great day.